Why can't China produce an Einstein or Newton? China's history spans 5,000 years, while Europe's history is 4,000 years. However, scientific and technological discoveries emerging from the West have consistently outstripped those from China. Even today, despite China's remarkable economic, scientific, and technological development, most Nobel Prizes and Fields Medals are awarded to Westerners. I believe that in the future, the West will continue to be the cradle of science and technology. Cultural aspect. China Analyst identifies three main reasons: culture, politics, and people. Firstly, let's discuss the cultural aspect. Confucianism and Hinduism divide society into classes. In Confucianism, the lower classes must obey the upper classes, which suppresses individual freedom. Children must obey their parents, wives must obey their husbands, and subjects must be loyal to their king. This culture of obedience stifles creativity and curiosity. Hinduism is even more extreme, as individuals are bound to the class they are born into for life. Buddhism promotes contentment, urging people to avoid greed and anger, and to be satisfied with what they have. These ideologies are still propagated today. However, Europe was not much better. Christian doctrines and institutions also hindered scientific development. The Inquisition and witch hunts are examples of this. Galileo, for instance, was condemned by the Inquisition and imprisoned until his death. Yet, Europe retained a degree of personal freedom. People believed that the world was orderly and created by God, and they pursued scientific research to explore God's creation. This is why, even during the dark ages of medieval Europe, scientific inventions still emerged. Political aspect. The Crusades initiated by the Pope to restore Catholic control in the Middle East indirectly led to the renaissance of European science. Crusaders massacred non-Catholics, considered heretics. How does this relate to the renaissance of European civilization? In the 6th century, Muhammad founded Islam, and by the 7th and 8th centuries, Arab Muslims had conquered the Middle East, spreading Islam worldwide. They reached Morocco, crossed to Spain, and assimilated Spain into the Muslim world, which is why modern Spaniards have Arab-like features. The Arab invasion of Europe. The Arabs continued their invasions into France and Germany, but were defeated in Germany. If not for the Germans, Europe might have been entirely converted to Islam. This is why there are still many Muslims in Europe today, particularly in Spain. When the Arabs invaded Europe, they encountered Greek civilization. They translated European knowledge into Arabic and took it back to their homeland, destroying the original European books. During the Crusades, Catholic forces discovered that much of Greek civilization, destroyed by the Romans, was preserved in Arab lands. They brought this knowledge back to Europe, laying the groundwork for the Renaissance. The Renaissance was a revival of Greek achievements after the dark medieval period. Thus, Christianity both hindered and inadvertently helped European scientific development. Qin Shi Huang, the greatest emperor in Chinese history, unified and assimilated the Chinese people early on. China's long-term unity is largely due to Qin Shi Huang, making it the oldest centralized political system. In contrast, Greek civilization was characterized by city-states without unification. Power was divided among city-states with different political systems. Athens was a democracy, Sparta was a monarchy. This competition spurred development. Philosophers like Aristotle, Socrates, Plato, scientists like Pythagoras, Archimedes, Thales, Euclid, Hippocrates, and historians like Herodotus emerged in this period. In the East, China led development with little competition. When China prospered, neighboring countries did too. When China declined, so did its neighbors. The people. East Asians are not less intelligent than Westerners. Some East Asian countries have some of the highest IQs in the world. In science and technology competitions, Countries like South Korea, Japan, China, and Vietnam excel. East Asian students also perform exceptionally well in American universities. However, East Asians win fewer Nobel Prizes. This is because East Asians generally have less curiosity, a trait linked to the DRD4 dopamine receptor gene, and less mental stability, linked to the long allele 5 HTTLPR serotonin transporter polymorphism. The OPRM1G mu opioid receptor gene and its allele contribute to individualism, which is less developed in East Asians. These traits are critical for scientific achievement. IQ and curiosity, measured by the Q index, significantly impact Nobel Prize counts per capita. Westerners' early geographical discoveries show their curiosity about the world. To become a successful scientist, one must be curious about new things, requiring an inquisitive intellect. This intellectual engagement is not fostered in students when knowledge is merely presented in books. Rote learning does not create great scientists. Exploring new knowledge replaces outdated thinking. According to psychologist Dean Simonton's research in 1988 and 2009, creative scientists are often extroverted, unlike scholars strictly adhering to their disciplines. It is often said that Chinese can excel at everything except creativity. In copying, no nation surpasses China, but in creativity, they fall short. Social psychologist Geert Hofstede declared in 2002 that individualism is about self-interest. Psychologist Hans Eysenck in 1995 noted that personal stubbornness, or pursuing one's interests, leads to conflict with other researchers. Individualistic people actively seek social connections, such as friends and partners, without strong attachments. Europeans score high on this trait, and science thrives on such minds. Thus, for a nation to produce many Einsteins or Newtons, or to advance in science and technology, it needs to: first, eliminate religious and cultural constraints on development. Second, replace rote education with curiosity-driven creative thinking. And third, promote individualism and personal freedom in societal thought.
Thank you for watching this video. Please give me a subscribe and turn on the notification bell to discover more interesting things about China and have fun entertainment moments with Chinatown